Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Today's lecture is about the group technology and flexible manufacturing systems. Group technology is also called the cellular manufacturing, while the automated systems is when it is automated, then it is called flexible manufacturing systems and called cells as well. So, what is group technology? But before going to that, we have to discuss the basic understanding of the batch production. So, parts in the medium production quantity are usually manufactured or fabricated in batches. So, what is batch production? It is a method of manufacturing where the products are made as in groups or in amounts within a certain time frame. It can go through a series of steps. It means the production steps or manufacturing steps in a large manufacturing process to make the final desired product. So, but this batch production is a conventional and traditional way of manufacturing, and it has certain disadvantages. They are that downtime for changeovers is higher, as well as the high inventory cost is associated with this traditional batch production. So, in order to minimize or mitigate these, group technology is used, and that is recognized in which the different parts they are put into groups and that have the similarities in it. So the parts they are group technology is the parts they are uh, having the same the similarity or put them into the product families. Uh, Group technology is used when the part similarities by utilizing similar processes and tooling to produce them. This technology can be implemented by manual or automated techniques. So when group technology is automated, then it is called flexible manufacturing systems. So what is group technology? That is an approach to manufacturing in which similar parts are identified. Similar parts are identified and grouped together in order to take advantage of their similarities in design and production. Similarity among parts permit them to be classified into part families. And in each part family, processing steps are similar. So if you remember, then when we were doing the modular function design in the system design approach, we have used MFD method. So in that method, that was an analysis method in which we have used in the design that how a complex product can be modularized. And in that modularization, we have identified that which parts is having similar, which parts are similar in different versions of the product. And then we said we kept them under the manufacturing that they have the, and then we assign the module drivers to them that they have this they can carry over into uh, different versions of the product. So when we identified the common parts, then we can have a production system based on that common parts, and those parts which are different, so we can have different manufacturing cells for them. So uh, in the group technology, the improvement is typically achieved by organizing the production facilities into manufacturing cells that specialize in production of certain part families. So basically, group technology is a method in which similar parts in a product are identified and group together to have the production, to have the advantages in the design and production of these parts. What is part family? So a group of parts that possesses similarities in geometric shape and size are in the processing steps used in their manufacturing. Part families are a central feature of group technology. There are always differences among parts in a family, but the similarities are close enough that the parts can be grouped into the same family. Here you can see two parts that are identical in shape and size. But the question arises that how they are different in manufacturing. If you can see, then they have the same shape and size and dimensions, but they are different in manufacturing. So the reason is part A is, if we produces, then there is a two scenarios. One is that 1 million units, part A is 1 million units per year is produced by a certain producer. Its tolerances are in the range of plus minus 0.010 inches, and it is 1015 steel. So it is made from steel. The other part B is 100 parts per year. Its tolerances are different, are less than the other one, but it is a chromium 18-8 stainless steel. So there is a difference between the materials. So when there is a difference in the materials, then there would be different tooling for them. So then two different machines will be required, two different tools will be required, production system will be required for it, manufacturing. So there is a difference between the manufacturing of these two based on the material differences, even though they have the same shape and sizes. But what do you say about these parts? If you can see, then all these parts are different in shape, sizes, dimensions. They are different. But if I can say that they would have the same manufacturing processes, so that is how it is possible. So these 10 parts there are different in size and shape, but quite similar in terms of manufacturing. They are similar in manufacturing because all parts are machined from cylindrical stock, and the processes involved in their manufacturing is turning, and some parts require drilling and milling. So they have different shape and sizes, but the processes, the manufacturing processes are almost same in most of these parts. So it is also important to identify the part families for the production. So then we can apply the group technology, and then we can have a separate production cells for these part families. So there are different ways to identify part families in products. One is the visual inspection, using base judgment to group parts into appropriate families based on the parts or photos of the parts. But that is a very tedious process. Another is production flow analysis, using information contained on route sheets to classify parts. Route sheets are those sheets in which the manufacturing processes about the parts and all the details are mentioned in it. So then it is also possible to identify the part families using the production flow analysis based on route sheets. Another way to identify part family is parts classification and coding. That is identifying similarity and differences among parts and related them by means of a coding scheme. So what is a coding scheme? One of the coding scheme is OPET's system for part classification and coding. And the basic structure of the system of parts classification and coding is that digit 1, when we classify the part, is related to its dimensions, related to the length, diameter, and these things. The second is related to the shape, that how it is looks like. The third part digit is related to the which type of the rotational machining involved in it or not. The fourth digit is related to the which surface machining operations are required, and the fifth digit is related to the additional information about the part, that whether there need to be any holes, teeth, and forming, etc. So this is the OPET system, and then the detail of these codes are that digit 1 is, as I said, about the length to diameter and about the sizes. The second digit is external shape elements, that we need a smooth or no shape element, in if digit 2 is 2, then it means thread. If digit 3 is 4, then no shape elements. If digit 4 is related to plane surface machining, if it is 1, then plane surface in one of the direction is required. So then this coding system is used to identify the part families in the group technology. The example is a part coded 20801. So if you can see, then 2 is part has length to diameter ratio equal to 3 or greater than 3. You can see here, then it is this one, and digit 1 is 2, so it is this one. Similarly, 0 is no shape element, external shape element, the second. So this is 0 and digit 2 is 0, so there is no shape element. And similarly, you can go for the 8 is the operating thread, 0 is no surface machining, and 1 is part is axial. So by this way, the coding is done to identify the part families. Most classification and coding system are one of the following: system based on part design attributes. So if you are doing the coding system, then we should know about that what should be the part design attributes. It could also be based on the part manufacturing attributes, that which manufacturing attributes and characteristics are required in the manufacture of this part. Similarly, systems based on both design and manufacturing attributes. So it could also be done, this classification and coding could also be done based on both the design and manufacturing attributes. So let's see that what are the design attributes when designing. What could be the part attributes when designing them? So the part attributes could be related to the shape, size, major dimensions. It could be related to the material type, tolerances in these parts, the surface finishes, the length to diameter ratio, internal and external shapes. So these are the parts attributes. One should know that what are this information is required when manufacturing part for the product families in group technologies. Then what could be the part manufacturing attributes when designing production process or facilities? So the part manufacturing attributes should be related to the manufacturing processes. It could also be related to the tools involved in it, machining tools, cutting tools, major processes, manufacturing processes involved in the manufacturing of this part. Operation, which operations should be followed? Operations mean that whether it could be turning, facing, milling, drilling, which one? Batch sizes, how much, number, the number of the parts to be produced, annual production, machine tool, cutting tool, and material types as well. Now, in cellular manufacturing, there is a composite part concept. So, a composite part in a given family is a hypothetical part that include all the design and manufacturing attributes of the family. Part families are, in general, an individual part in the family will have some of the features of the family, but not all of them. So when we are designing a production cell for the part family, so it should consist of those machines required to make the composite parts. Such a cell would be able to produce any family member by omitting operations corresponding to features not possessed by that part. So in cellular manufacturing, composite part concepts is applied, and composite part is that part in a product family which has most of the processes in the involved in that in the development of that family. So the production cell for the part family would consist of those machines required to make the composite part. So it means that if we know the design and the manufacturing attributes of the composite part, so then we can develop a production cell for the related product families in for the other parts in that product family. So composite part is the main part based on which the cells, these manufacturing cells are designed. So this is the composite part concept, the composite part of a family of machine rotational parts, and B is the individual features of that composite part. So in figure B at 1, if you can see that that is a cylinder, and then in this cylinder, the design feature is the external cylinder, and the corresponding operation is turning. In 2, 2 means that there is on this cylinder there is facing operation is going on this face of the cylinder. 3, in that cylinder there is some uh, turning operation is going on to remove the material. Similarly, the 4th is about the surface finishes. The 5th is one about the making a hole in this cylindrical part, and that hole is done by drilling process. Similarly, the 6th is about the uh, counter counter boring in this uh, in this part, and the 7th is about the threading in this part. So the axial hole is drilling, counter boring, and so the corresponding operations with respect to the design features are turning, facing, drilling, counter boring, and tapping. So this is a composite part in a rod family that has almost all the functions required to design to manufacture the other parts in the product families. So the cell would be designed based on this composite part. There is layout in the production processes, that is that which production process or machine is placed in the production, and in the traditional process layout there is no regular layout, and then the all the processes are not in a regular pattern, and that is the traditional process layout without any cellular manufacturing or without applying the FMS techniques. But in cellular layout based on group technology, once we have the part families based on the composite part concept, then we can organize our cells in manufacturing process, and each cell specialize in producing one or limited number of part families. So if this is a one cell, and then uh, if we are going to make a part, so then it will start from the turning, milling, drilling, assembly, and then shaping. Its second option could be like this. Similarly, this is another production line in the in this cell, and this is another one. So the parts would be received here, and it would be shipped here. So then the production process is having certain layout, and with the help of cellular manufacturing, applying the group technology, the cells are organized. It is not like this. uh, Machine cell designs. There are certain designs that is related to single machine, multiple machine with manual handling, multiple machine with mechanized handling, flexible manufacturing cell, and flexible manufacturing system. So the difference between cell and system is that in the system there would be more cells. So these are the type of the group technology cells. In A, you can see a single machine with a person sitting, and then work units are processed by a manual system. Workers are used. Similarly, multiple in figure B, multiple machines with manual handling is used. In C, the multiple machine with mechanized handling is there. So in C, the conveyor belts are there, and the machines are operated by the workers. But in D, there are no workers, and the machines are automated, and then the conveyor belts are there, and this is called the flexible manufacturing cell. So this is the flexible manufacturing. That is the difference between the manual and the flexible manufacturing systems. And here, this is the full flexible manufacturing system, when there are more cells and more machines, and then the parts are coming in. It is loaded here. Conveyor belts is moving in front of the machines, and then they are processed, and then they are unloaded here at this point. So this is the uh, FMS system. This is FMS cell, a type of FMS cell. There are different types. So this is one type of FMS cell, and this is the mechanized one. Here it is the manual ones with multiple machines, and this is with the single machines. So these are the different types of the GT cells, group technologies. There is certain benefits that standardization of tooling, fixtures, and setup is encouraged. Material handling is reduced. Material handling means that how parts are moved between the machines. Parts are moved within a machine cell rather than entire factory. And processing, planning, and production scheduling are simple. And work in process in manufacturing lead times, the time required to manufacture a part, are reduced. And the improved worker satisfaction and high quality work is achieved in group technology. But there are certain issues in group technologies. One of the issues is the identification of the part families. So if the plant or the manufacturing setup is making 10,000 or 20,000 different parts, for instance, in case of the car production systems. So reviewing all of the parts, drawing and grouping the parts into families is not an easy task. So that is one of the issues in case of a product that is complex, having more parts. I think that in automobiles, in cars, there are more than 10,000 parts, uh, maybe around 15,000 parts in the automobiles. That varies about different versions. So that is one of the issues in the group technology. Another is rearranging production machines in a plant into appropriate machine cells. The arrangement of the production machines, it takes time to plan and accomplish this rearrangement, and the machines are not producing during the changeover. So that is another issue. So in order to address these issues, nowadays the companies are doing the product design and families, and then they are doing they identify the common parts in the product. For example, the Volkswagen has two plants. One plant is for the common parts in all versions of the Volkswagen, and another plant is for the variable parts or the differences in parts in all those versions of the cars. So by this way, they can use the concept of product platforms and product families. So by product platforms, they can combine the common parts in one plant and manufacture them, and by product and they can have they can also identify the different parts in the different versions of the Volkswagen, so they can do it like this. So usually they are doing these concepts, and they are doing it they are applying the system design concepts in the manufacturing of these products. So here in this chapter, in Brewer, it is an old book, maybe around 10, 15 years old. So they have not written these latest concepts in their book, that how it could be, this issue could be solved if the parts are too much. Flexible manufacturing system is when the group technology is automated. Uh, so a highly automated group technology machine cell is consisting of a group of processing stations, that is normally CNC machine tools, interconnected by an automated material handling and storage system, and controlled by an integrated computer system. So the FMS relies on the principles of group technology, that no manufacturing system can produce an unlimited range of products. FMS is capable of producing a single part family or a limited range of part families. So it means that FMS, as compared to the traditional manufacturing system, they can have the this system has the capability that the system is automated, and certain flexibility in the product specification if there is changes in the product types, so they it can incorporate that change up to certain extent. FMS components are hardware components, software, control functions, and human labor. The hardware components are workstations that consist of CNC machines. Material handling system means by which parts are moved between the different stations and machines. And the central control unit coordinates the activities of the components to achieve the smooth operation of the system. Typical computer functions in FMS are numerical control, part programming, production control, that how the product should be mixed, machine scheduling and other planning function, NC program downloading and machine control. More computer functions in FMS are work part control, tool management, transport control, and system management. That you can read by yourself. That what are these functions. Duties performed by the human labor is loading and unloading parts, changing and setting cutting tools, maintenance, repair, programming, etc. There are 5 types of FMS layout. So one is inline, loop, ladder, open field, robot-centered cell, and the basic layout of FMS is established by the material handling system. So it is based on the material handling system. So the basic layout is based on the that how the parts can be moved between the different stations. This is the simple one, that is the inline FMS layout, and the AUT means automated stations. L is the loading, UL is the unloading, inspection. AGV stands for automated guided vehicles, and AGVS is the automated guided vehicle systems. They are transporting the parts from one station to another station. This is the ladder layout, in which the conveyor belts are used with the machines, and parts are loaded at one place and then they are unloaded at another place after the processing. So this is another layout of the FMS system. This one is the open field layout, and here the instead of the conveyor belts, the AGVs, automated guided vehicles, are used, and they are taking and transporting the parts between the machines instead of the conveyor belts. So this is another layout of the FMS system. This is the the FMS system layout that is based on robot, and then robot is coordinating with the machines, and then it gives the machines is the parts are produced, and then they are moved with the help of the conveyor belt. So this robot is in coordination with these machine stations, and then the parts are moved with the uh, conveyor belt. So this is another FMS layout. The applications of the typical applications of FMS technology are in the assembly of the parts. So the FMS applications, FMS we are using for the assembly. We can use it for the inspection of the production parts. It could also be used in sheet metal processing, that is punching, shearing, bending, and forming, and it could also be used for forging processes. These are the characteristics of flexible manufacturing systems and cells relative to the other type of the production systems. Vertical is the variety in parts and styles per year, and horizontal is line is about the volume, that is parts per year. So in case of the standalone numerical control NC machine, the variety, it can accommodate a lot of variety, but the problem is it cannot accommodate a higher volume. So if specialized few parts are required, then we can use this machine, and if they are variable in their design, if there is a variety in these. Similarly, for medium production, flexible manufacturing cell can accommodate the variety in the parts. Flexible manufacturing system can also accommodate certain variety in the parts, but not that much. But it has a little bit more volume, and but if you are producing similar parts and there is no variety and you need a higher production, then you need transfer line and manual methods. Transfer lines are used, the traditional production systems are used in batches. But nowadays, when the products are customized, and then the markets and the customers the users, the consumers want different, especially in the consumer products, they want variety in the products. So you can have you should have a manufacturing system that should accommodate all these varieties in their production system. So if you can see, then flexible manufacturing system can accommodate certain variety, but it cannot. But if the variety is increased in the versions, so they are using flexible manufacturing system, but it will not accommodate all the variety. So in that case, they are using some of the industry are switching towards the reconfigurable manufacturing systems. So I will tell you in future that how the reconfigurable manufacturing is step by steps accommodating not only the variety in the production, but also it can increase the volumes of the parts per production system. So, but after RMS, nowadays Industry 4 concepts are there, and they are using the different cells decentralized from each other that we will study in the Industry 4 concepts. But these are the basic traditional processes in which the production systems are based. This is a 5-station FMS system. If you can see the figure, then it seems that the machines are very old, maybe 20, 30, or 40 years old. So FMS is also an old concept, but still it is used in the industry according to the requirements. It has certain benefits, that it higher machine utilization than a conventional machine shop due to better work handling. Offline setups and improved scheduling is possible with FMS. Reduced work in process due to continuous production rather than batch production. Lower manufacturing lead times and greater flexibility in the production scheduling is possible with the FMS. Material handling functions in manufacturing include the loading and positioning of the work units at each workstation, or the movement of the parts. It could be unloading work units from the station, it could be transportation between the workstations. There are different means to transport this material. It is between the different stations. It could be done by the automated guided vehicles, AGVs. Cranes and hoists can be used, conveyors, rail guided vehicles, and lift forklifts are can be used in the material handling system. This is the description of these equipment, transport equipment. You can read it. Now, what is integrated manufacturing system? In the integrated manufacturing system, the components are the workstations and machines, material handling equipment, and computer control. So, computer integrated manufacturing is the term used, that is the use of the computer systems throughout the organization, not only to monitor the control, but also design the product, planning the manufacturing process, and to perform the business functions in the production systems. Uh, the question arises that what are the 4 general functions that has to be accomplished in most manufacturing enterprises? So the 4 general functions that should be accomplished are product design, manufacturing planning, manufacturing control, and business functions. So product design is about the identification of the problem, the analysis and synthesis of the data, the design of the product, evaluation, and documentation. And it is also about to have the overall quality of the resulting design. Similarly, at this stage, the final cost of the product and production system is identified. The second is the manufacturing planning, and manufacturing planning includes the decisions on parts will be which parts will be purchased, how it will be produced, and how the work will be scheduled, how the production process will be scheduled. Manufacturing control include the supporting functions, and it has the includes the quality control, inventory control, and the shop floor control. Similarly, the business functions includes the orders by the business departments, costs, uh, payrolls, billing, and etc. So the four general functions in a manufacturing organization and how computer integrated manufacturing systems support these functions. If you can see, then this is these four blocks at the top, that is called SIM, computer integrated manufacturing, and the four elements and the four blocks are CAD system, the CAD design, that includes the geometric modeling, engineering analysis, and drafting, etc. The second part is CAM. The third part is also CAM, that is computer aided manufacturing, and the fourth part is about the business systems. So in the first CAM, that is related to the CAPP, that is computer aided process planning, the NC part programming, and the scheduling of the production process, that is related to the manufacturing planning. The CAD is about the product design. CAM, that is the computer aided manufacturing, and that is the about the process control, inventory, and shop controls. And the business functions are related to the payrolls, accounting, etc. So these functions outside this SIMS are related to this, and then they are related to the markets, and the feedback is given to the product design function. But this this is a typical manufacturing system integrated manufacturing diagram, maybe 20 years old, but it could be further improved in the current scenarios by including in the product design. It could be about the system design concepts. So system design concepts should be incorporated here at this place, instead of just geometric modeling and these things. These things will come after system specification, system architecting, and simulations. Then we can have the CAD designs and these things. So in the current scenarios, it should be the system design. But if we can see from the Industry 4 concept, then this system integrated manufacturing could be just a part of that, where the whole system is controlled by the different layers are decentralized and controlled. So this diagram is fundamental to understand the SIM, but in the current scenarios, it should be changed. I will try when I will to change this diagram to the current scenarios when I will teach you the Industry 4 concepts, inshallah. Another concept is about the ERP system. As you know, that the computer integrated manufacturing is implemented in many companies using ERP systems, and that is an extension of the manufacturing resource planning that organizes and integrates the information flow in a company. And the functions of the ERP is not only about the processes or manufacturing operations, but it also includes the sales, marketing, logistics, inventory control, finance, and human resources. So ERP system integrates all the functions of facets of an operation, including planning, development, sales, and marketing, etc. This is a simple diagram that includes the manufacturing ERP software systems, and at the center, the ERP system is there, and then it has a control at the center, and then it is gets data from the CRM module. CRM means for customer relationship management. Nowadays, very important aspect in the companies, and companies are getting data from the customers, from social media, online platforms, from communities, and from crowdsourcing. Crowdsourcing is a concept in which the crowds, the companies are salespeople are in touch with the customers and consumers communities, and they get the information about their feedback about their products. Similarly, another is about the purchase module is related to the ERP system, sales, production, inventory, and finance. So it means that in the ERP, not only the production module, but all the other facets related to the production is uh, connected. I have a report that is Siemens manufacturing operations, and you should read it to understand their manufacturing operations, how they are conducted. I will share it with you. This is the review of this chapter. You can have, you can read it, you can look into it, and thank you very much. Uh, this is all for today. I will stop it here. If you have any questions, then you can ask.
सर थैंक यू वेरी मच इट वाज वेरी गुड लेक्चर टुडे सर आज तो बड़ा मजा आया सुनने में आसान चीजें लग रही थी सर ये शॉप फ्लोर कंट्रोल जो है ये क्या चीज होती है
अच्छा शॉप फ्लोर जो कंट्रोल है वो ये कि इसमें जो प्रोडक्शन हो रही है जो प्रोडक्शन प्रोसेस चल रहा है ठीक है ना तो उसका मतलब ये कि स्केजुअलिंग हो गया ठीक है उसमें जो प्रोडक्शन प्रोसेस हो रहा है उसकी मतलब ये कि कंट्रोल से रिलेटेड है कि जो प्रोसेस हो रहा है उसको किस तरह ऑर्गेनाइज स्केजुअल करना है
मींस ऑन ग्राउंड जो इन रियल टाइम में जो आपके प्रोसेसेस कंडक्ट हो रहे हैं
हाँ रियल टाइम में जो प्रोडक्शन प्रोसेस चल रहा है ठीक है उसको आपने किस तरह कंट्रोल और डिज़ाइन करना है
सर
ठीक अच्छा जो